even if there is a difference between speaking your mind and speaking up. So the other day I was doing a coaching situation or coaching session with an individual, and she was talking about, well, I speak my mind, I speak my mind. And I said, so why do you speak your mind? Because I need to be heard. They need to hear what I say. And I thought about that. And I actually thought about it during the coaching session. And I came to a realization that there is a difference between someone speaking up and someone speaking their mind. And it's a cognitive realization. So you wonder, what do I mean by that? So, Dr. Tanja Thompson, what do you mean by there is a difference when I hear someone say, I'm going to speak my mind, versus someone saying, I'm going to speak up? So, in my field as being a conflict resolution strategist, I'm always working and dealing with executives that are dealing with conflict situations. And a lot of times, these conflict situations have to do with teams, team members, groups, how they're not getting along, how they fit in the organization. And my brain works going all different types of directions. So when I think about something, it usually is one something and then expands on something else, and then it expands on something else. So it doesn't stay linear. And this is what I came up with. And I said, in my mind, I said, I don't want to speak my mind. I really want to speak up. And let me tell you what came out of that. Typically, when someone speaks their mind, is here in the frontal lobe. And what I mean by that is that your feelings are incorporated when someone speaks their mind. A lot of times that person is passionate. A lot of times that person is energetic. A lot of times that person is exuberating a lot of feelings. What happens when someone knows how you feel? Sometimes it's not in a positive, but in a negative direction. So I wrote down, feelings get incorporated when someone speaks their mind. And then I have, now they know how you feel. They also know how to push your buttons. They also know how to trigger you to make you either say or either do something. Because think about it. When you say, I'm speaking my mind, you're usually passionate about, well, you did this, and I'm going to speak my mind about when you did X, Y, and Z. A lot of times that has to do with feelings. And anytime our feelings get involved, it can go from 0 to 100 very quickly. And then I also wrote, when feelings get incorporated, I also drew a line to manipulation, control, mechanisms. Now they can be the puppeteer of your life. So when you speak your mind, we give individuals, in some instance, power to manipulate us, power to be a puppeteer, where they are now controlling us. So you say, well, okay, well, so what is speaking up? A lot of times, speaking up does not control or does not involve feelings. Think about it. Just think about, in a situation where you were speaking your mind, how did you feel in that situation versus just speaking up? Think about that. I want that to sit there for a minute. When I speak up, a lot of times I'm a lot more articulate. It's easy to follow my train of thought. A lot of times I go a lot slower and I'm processing it differently versus when I'm speaking my mind, a lot of feelings are involved. And the receiver may not even be listening to you when when you are speaking your mind versus when you are speaking up. Think about that. Think about a time that you was in a conflict. Were you speaking up or were you speaking your mind? There is a big difference. And you know what? I did not even realize that it was a difference until that coaching session. And when you are doing reflective practice and you take time, either after you've been involved in a conflict or when you coaching, reflective practice gives you an opportunity to reflect back on what you have heard, what you have seen, what you have been involved in, and it allows you to mentally process it. Have you thought about how you process information? Have you thought about when there's a situation that feelings are involved versus when you're speaking your mind or you're speaking up relative to an issue or a situation? There's such a big difference. I didn't even realize it. Think about that. So, moving forward, I think I'm just going to speak up because I don't want anyone to feel like they can manipulate me, that they can control me or be the puppeteer. I don't want to be triggered by what individuals say, that something that they have said that now impacts me. Very often we are triggered by we are triggered by smells, we are triggered by situations, things that have happened in our past. And once we realize how words make a difference in our lives and how we articulate those words makes a huge, huge difference. When I am in training or I'm delivering training, I am very intentional, very purposeful in what I say and how I say it. We oftentimes say things that we don't mean, or we meant to say something else. The receiver takes it totally different than how we perceived it. Think about something that someone has said to you and you hear, I didn't mean it like that. Well, that's how I took it. Well, that wasn't my intent. But yeah, that's how I took it. We need to learn how to control our emotions, especially in these schools where we are seeing violence, where any day we can pick up a newspaper or we hear in the news, over television, Facebook, it is in our face constantly, where someone's feelings have gotten involved or was triggered or someone's made to feel a certain way and they react and respond in that manner. So speaking up, there's nothing wrong with speaking up. Absolutely not. But a lot of times when we speak up, there's no feelings involved. Try it out. Try to speak up about something and then look at how you respond or the other individual responds when you speak your mind. Just let that sit there for a while. It was, you know how you have in your mind, it's an epiphany. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that there was a difference intuitively when I'm speaking my mind versus when I'm speaking up. Speaking up meaning that, hey, you know what? I have an idea. Or when I'm speaking my mind, when someone doesn't accept my idea, you didn't accept my idea. You are always treating me differently. Well, maybe we need to change our conversations. Maybe we need to change how we see the world as a whole. As a conflict resolution practitioner, strategist, call it what you like, I see conflict every day. Conflict is inevitable. We need to learn how to protect our host so that when conflict situations come our way, that we know how to address them. Also, and I know for some of you, this may be different. Not everything requires you to speak. Not everything requires an answer from you. Not everything requires a response. I know. But why do we feel we always have to respond? I've learned that, especially 25 years in the military, I learned that not everything requires a response. And better yet, not everything is about me. So why do I feel I have to respond and respond in kind? And not in kind in a positive way, but in kind in a negative way. We really need to be very careful on what we say and who we say it to. Because sometimes speaking your mind, you may be speaking your mind to the wrong person versus speaking up or identifying an issue or concern. So for the rest of the week, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about when you are speaking your mind, what is involved or feelings involved versus when you're speaking up, what is involved. Intuitively, we need to know the difference and that words make a difference. So thank you so very much. This is Dr. Tanja Thompson, the Conflict Resolution Buster. Be sure to hit the notification bell, so that you know when I go live. Also, be sure to comment and share this with others, as I'll be sharing videos of my dog. I'll also be showing videos of my cat, which you also love, but also giving you some tidbits on how we can better protect our minds so that we keep ourselves out of trouble, but then also protect the host. Signing out, Dr. Tanja Thompson.